You know that feeling, right? You look at your calendar and you just get this sense of dread. Back-to-back meetings that suck the life out of you but don't seem to produce much of anything. It's like a corporate cold you just can't shake. But what if I told you there's a science to making them better? Let's put this whole problem under the microscope. I mean, does that feeling of death by meeting sound a little too familiar? That endless cycle of unproductive chats that leaves you just drained, wondering what on earth you actually accomplished. Well, guess what? This problem, this thing we all experience, it actually has a name.
They call it meetingitis. And this definition from researcher Louis Varel, it's just spot on. It's not just about having too many meetings. It's the compulsive and disordered way we schedule them. And the result? Lost productivity and people just completely checking out. This right here, this is the official diagnosis for your calendar-induced headache.
So to cure any illness, you first have to understand what's causing it, right? So let's start the examination. We're going to look at the common mistakes that are feeding this epidemic of terrible meetings. Okay, first up is a classic. It's a mistake that so many of us make, and usually with the best of intentions. It really comes from this deeply flawed idea of what collaboration is supposed to look like. You know the thinking, hey, if we invite more people, we'll get more perspectives, more brilliant ideas, and of course, a better outcome. It feels inclusive, it feels thorough, but the actual science tells a very different story. Now this is where it gets really interesting. This isn't just a feeling, this is hard data. Just look at that curve. It's not a gentle slope, it is a complete nosedive. The moment you start adding more people to a meeting, the chance for any one person to contribute just shrinks dramatically. A few people end up dominating the conversation, and everyone else, they just become passive observers. So here's the key takeaway. There's a sweet spot. The research points to it again and again. The magic number is somewhere between 5 and 7 people. That seems to be the perfect size for a group to have a real interactive discussion where you can actually build on each other's ideas. You get any bigger than that and you start seeing some serious diminishing returns. All right, on to the second common symptom of meetingitis. This one is all about the agenda, or really our habit of being way too ambitious with it. We've all seen these, right? An agenda that's packed with like a dozen different items. The logic is, hey, if we cover a lot of ground, we must be productive. We're checking off boxes, we're making progress. But this is another trap. I mean, just do the math. If you've got an hour-long meeting with 10 things on the agenda, you're left with what? Maybe 5 minutes per topic, if you're lucky? That is barely enough time to even introduce the problem, let alone have a real discussion and make a smart decision. You get a whole lot of breadth, but absolutely no depth. Okay, enough about the problems. Let's talk about the cure. Because the good news is that the science of meetings doesn't just diagnose the illness, it gives us a clear, evidence-based path to get better. And here it is, the absolute key. If you remember one thing from all of this, make it this. Forget all the fancy tech or complicated rules for a second. The single biggest predictor of whether a meeting is good and inclusive is, did people talk? Did people vocally participate? It is literally that simple. And this graph just shows you the human side of that data. You can see how the probability of feeling included just skyrockets the second someone speaks up. The simple act of contributing, of your voice being heard, is fundamentally tied to feeling like you're actually a valued part of the team. And if we put a number on this, the impact is even more obvious. It's not a small bump. Speaking up makes it 4 times more likely that a person will say they felt included. 4 times. That is a massive, undeniable impact. So if you want better meetings, the goal is crystal clear. You have to figure out how to unlock participation. So how do we actually do that? Well, it's not about one single magic trick. It's about a systematic approach. Think of it like a prescription, a simple 3-step treatment plan to engineer healthier, more productive meetings. See, a successful meeting isn't just about what happens in the room. This treatment plan covers the whole life cycle. It recognizes that what you do before sets the stage, how you act during drives the outcome, and what you do after makes sure the work actually gets done. Every single stage is crucial. Let's start with before. A great meeting almost never happens by accident. You have to set the stage for success. That means having a crystal clear purpose, like what decision do we need to make today? Send out a focused agenda and any pre-reading well in advance. And for virtual meetings, a quick tech check is absolutely non-negotiable. This isn't just bureaucracy, it's prevention. Now for the during phase. This is all about being an active facilitator. Your job is to protect the agenda from getting derailed, and, most importantly, to actively create space for people to participate. Don't just hope people speak up. Explicitly invite them into the conversation. Use tools like the digital raise hand feature to manage the flow. And, this is critical, never ever end a meeting without clarifying the action items. Who is doing what and by when? Okay, let's tackle a question that comes up all the time now in our remote and hybrid world. The constant push for cameras on. We all kind of assume it's always better for engagement, but what does the data actually say? Does it really help people participate? And the answer is, well, it's complicated. This slide shows that context is everything. In those small meetings we talked about, the 5-7-person ones, yes, absolutely, video gives participation a big boost. But in large, long meetings, the effect can actually reverse and become negative. Maybe it's video fatigue, maybe it's cognitive overload. The takeaway, be smart about when you ask for cameras on. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution. So, after applying this whole treatment plan, what's the prognosis? What does a future that's finally free from meetingitis even look like? Well, the benefits go way beyond just having a cleaner calendar. Just think about the aftermath. We've all walked out of a bad meeting feeling confused, like our time was totally wasted, maybe even just indifferent. But a good meeting, it leaves you with the exact opposite. You leave with clarity, with concrete action items, and with a real sense of trust and commitment to the team and its goals. The difference is just night and day. And that's the bottom line here. This isn't just about making our workdays feel a little better. This is about performance. Well-run, participatory meetings are the engine for better decisions. And better decisions are what drive better outcomes, period. So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a direct question. Go look at your calendar. Find your very next meeting. Based on everything we just talked about, what is the one single thing you can change, whether you're running it or just attending, to make it a little bit healthier? Because that's how the cure starts, one meeting at a time.